Hey, how you doing? My name is Jay, and I've worked with over 15,000 people over the last 5 years in the field of personal development and financial freedom. And I've done that through my seminars, my workshops, and I'm here because I want to share something really cool with you. If I could tell you three things to be aware of, or shine light into three things that you're doing right now that probably is holding you back, like it held me back when I was younger, I think it has the potential to completely change your life as a man. So if you're watching this, I want you to watch right till the end because these three things are going to change your perspective entirely. So I'm going to put this through in a way that logically makes sense for you. So the number one thing that I see people do that's a big big mistake, and I've made this mistake in the past as well, is hoping that one thing is going to help you get to where you want to go in life, let's say financially, and it's going to be an instant gratification. It's going to be easy. It's going to be no challenge. When I was younger, I tried out many different things, in order for me to start my own business. I wanted to achieve freedom from that rat race. And so I started looking at different businesses. I've done a lot of things in my life. I've tried blogging, I've tried being a YouTuber, I've tried doing many things. And none of it actually ever worked. And the reason it didn't work is because I would try and I would fail. And of course, I'm going to fail, right? If I'm brand new at something, am I going to be amazing at it on the first go? Probably not. Probably it will take some time for me to get really, really good at it. But I was looking for instant gratification. I was looking for, hey, if I start today, I should make money tomorrow. I should make money from a month from now. I did not have the patience to actually learn the skills in order to be really, really good at what I wanted to do. And really, it wasn't that I didn't have the patience. Now that I think about it, it was probably that I did not want to put myself through the hard time of going through a challenge, of being able to grow by trying something again and again. And what I mean by that is, starting out with my blogging business, getting punched around for a few months, maybe a few years, and then seeing it through and make started making money off it. I started it, I gave up, and I see a lot of people who think that they're gonna change their health if they do a diet or an exercise plan for a week or for a month, and you could do a considerable amount of work in a month, but it's not going to completely change. You didn't get to becoming a fat slob in a month. It took you a while to get to the current situation that you're in right now. So, how is it that you can expect that your life can change in 1 month, that your health can completely transform in 1 month? It's not going to happen. So, that instant gratification of, hey, I went to the gym, I burned these many calories, let me go on the weighing scale, let me see how I am, and oh my God, nothing has changed, this doesn't work, you know, cardio doesn't work, dieting doesn't work, gymming doesn't work. And that sort of a mindset is what held me back from success in my life because I thought things would come easy and I wanted instant gratification. And so that was the number one thing, number one mistake that I made. Number two mistake that I made was thinking that I now needed more information. So I started doing things, right? And I started thinking, yeah, okay, fine, instant gratification is not the way. I need to study more. I need to really, really understand how I'm going to become successful in this area of my life. And so what I started doing now is I started grabbing information. I started reading, I started watching videos, I started doing self-help stuff, started doing courses. I did it one after the other, after the other, after the. I think in the last 5 years, I've done I don't know how many courses. And before that, I used to spend all night long on the internet coming up with information, learning, studying, watching YouTube videos. I mean, if you see the library behind me, this is just a few of the books that I've got. I've got much more. They're all around my house. I'm addicted to books. I'm addicted to knowledge. But I realized that just information, just gaining knowledge is not going to get me to my destination. It's not. And so this is the second mistake I see people do. I see a lot of people, they come into the world of self-development, personal development, a lot of men, and they're reading, they're thinking about how they're going to be successful, they're reading about how they're going to be successful, they're watching videos about how they're going to be successful, They're doing courses about how they're going to be successful, but there's no action, right? There's no follow through, there's no accountability, there's nobody that's pushing them, you know. This is the biggest myth, that I need more, that more knowledge will get you more success. I think part of it has to do with our education system, you know, especially in countries like India, where education is really sort of is the focus, and people and kids are taught from a young age that, hey, you got to educate yourself, you got to get a degree, you got to do this, you got to get a job. And although I'm not against education by any chance, but I think part of education has to be the doing, not just the learning. And I think our education system is incomplete because there's all this learning, but there's very little doing. And my experience, a lot of people, they learn best not by reading about something, not by watching something, but by doing something. Think about it yourself. If you know how to drive, for example, if you know how to ride a bike, how did you learn how to drive or ride a bike? Did you learn by watching 10,000 videos or reading 100 books of how to drive a car? Or did you learn by getting in the driver's seat with somebody who's experienced with you, and then asking them to watch you and give you directions as you practice, as you do it? And when you did it that way and you did it consistently, meaning you did it every single day for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what happened at the end of that? Suddenly, boom, you had the skill. And I think a lot of people think that by gaining information, they'll gain the skill of how to do business. By gaining information, they'll gain the skill of how to record content on social media. Or by gaining information, they'll get the skill of how to go and talk to women and become attractive. It's never going to happen. So that's the second biggest myth that I just want to smash. And if you are somebody who is watching this video and all you're doing is watching this video, bro, you got to get up, you got to get outside, and you got to put to action some of the things that you learned. If you don't do that, you're going to be watching videos, mark my words, you're going to be watching videos throughout your life and nothing is going to change. So now the third mistake that I see people do, and I think logically this is where a lot of people have absolutely no clue that they're even making this mistake. They have no idea, and I didn't have any idea either. And I think this is the mistake of hanging around with the wrong kind of people. So, when people realize that just getting information is not enough, right? That they need to do something. It's very hard, if they're on their own, to do it. It's extremely hard. Trust me. I've been on my own when I wanted to do something like start a business, and it was difficult. And then I've been with other people who've already been doing it, other people who are already of the mindset that I need to be at, who are thinking the way I need to be thinking to be able to do that thing successfully. Now, when I started hanging around with these kind of people, huge changes started to happen. So let me share a little story with you. So I really enjoy martial arts. I really enjoy mixed martial arts. I love the sport. I don't think there's anything more honest than being in a ring with another man and just going at it. I mean, you can't fake being a tough guy. Either you are or you aren't. And I love that about the sport. And I've been training martial arts for a really long time. Ever since I was a kid, I did karate. And then after that, I started hanging around with, I joined this gym pretty much, this mixed martial arts gym. And I trained there for a really long time. And the truth is that I still sucked. I signed up for a fight. I got into really good shape. I did my best, but I absolutely sucked. I competed in my first fight and I got my backside handed to me. It was horrible. I got beaten up really, really bad. And when that happened, I said to myself, this isn't right. And I need to find a better gym. So you know what I did? I started looking online, and the only gym I could find that I wanted to train with at the time was in Thailand. So I packed my bags and I went to Thailand for a month to understand what a good gym is actually like. Because I had never been to a good gym before. So how would I know? I'd never been to a place where there were good martial artists. So I packed my bags and I went to Thailand for a month and I trained with the best people over there, like killers, people who are in the UFC. These are champions or people who are on their way to be champions. And it was a brilliant experience. But the greatest thing that happened for me is I now could recognize what a good gym is like. So when I came back to India, then I went online and I started searching what are the good gyms in my area, and I found them. So I started training with a team called Team Relentless, which is like they've got the best of the best fighters. They're regularly, competing internationally. They are representing India. I mean, these guys were really, really good. I could instantly recognize, because I'd been to Thailand, I could recognize that these guys were good. And so I went and trained with them, and I loved it, and I became really good. And I became so good that I decided to compete again on a whim. I won because I entered a room where I was with the best. And the question you have to ask yourself is, if you want to become a millionaire, or you want to become somebody who's extremely confident, somebody who's extremely fit, or somebody who is extremely attractive, who are you hanging out with? Are you hanging out with other people who are already where you want to be, or are you hanging out with people who are complaining, moaning all the time, and basically draining you of your energy? And if you think that you can achieve what you want to achieve, become a greater man, by hanging around with people that are no good for you, think again. It's never going to happen. And I think that's the biggest mistake that I made, that I did not change my circle of influence, the people that I hung out with, sooner. If you're interested, by the way, in hanging out with other men who are absolutely amazing at what they do, and just go-getters, just driven people, then there's a link in the description that I want you to go and click, and that'll bring you to something that I call a Greater Man community. It's a community of men that come and work together, and you should just go click on that link and to find out what it is. There's an amazing opportunity going on over there right now. You should go click on the link to learn more about it. But this is the top 3 things that I wanted to share with you, the top 3 mistakes that men make. That, if I believe if you change your perspective, the way that you think in these top 3 things, I think it's going to change your life completely. So I hope this was helpful for you. This is Jay signing off. I'll see you again in the next video.